So, guys, I want to share with you my a vision board disaster that I wound up manifesting. So, I learned about vision boards like years ago. And so, my first vision board that I did, everything on that vision board, literally, no lie, came to pass. And that was my first time. And I was just doing it as a test to see if this stuff is true, right? So I got so excited that the first time everything came to pass and I literally got everything. Like when I say I like, and mind you, it was just a test. I got tablets. I put tablets on that vision board. I wish I saved that vision board for you so I can show you because everything came to pass. But like I had tablets on that vision board, phones, whatchamacallit, rings. I manifested rings, not this one but another one. And just things, perfumes, certain boots, everything. So a lot of the things that I had on there, came to pass. So I said, let me do another one. So I did another one. This was the following year. So this time I wanted to manifest a man, right? Oh my goodness. So I get a magazine and I'm looking through the magazine and then I cut out a picture and it was just the head of the man, literally just the head, right? And the man was a nice dark skinned chocolate kind of guy, had a nice little goatee or whatever, low cut, everything like that. He was fine, right? So I was like, oh, about to get me my chocolate drop. Oh. Because, I just seem to have a thing for chocolate dark skinned men, right? So I wanted me a chocolate man. So, boom, I got this vision board up with all this other stuff that I wanted, right? Oh, you got to be careful what you put, okay? Because you just might get it. And just like it says in Habakkuk 2 and 2, Habakkuk 2, 2 and 3, right? It says, write the answer plainly on tablets, right? This vision is for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. Now I'm just reading some of it. And so, mind you, the vision, that's why you got to write it down. So the vision, this vision board that I had, it's going to be fulfilled in the future time. That's exactly what I did. So not thinking nothing of it, right? I would look at this thing every day, but again, not really thinking of it, right? So one day, my uncle, God rest his soul, right? My uncle, right? He was helping me work on my car. He was giving me an oil change or whatever the case may be. So we was in his driveway or whatever. So his roommate, he had a roommate. So this roommate came outside to help him, whatever. But the whole entire time there, he was just really a distractor because he had my uncle and us laughing. And it took us longer to do what we needed to do because he was just being this comedian, right? But I wasn't dawning on me. This dude was dark skinned. He was dark skinned. He looked just like the picture that I had on the vision board. So fast forward, like that day ended. I go home. My phone rings. I'm like, I don't know this number, but I answer it, and it's him. And I'm like, who gave you my number? And he's like, don't be mad at your uncle. He gave me your number, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, he was like, please don't say nothing to him because, I pressed him and I pressured him and he finally gave in. Now, mind you, I don't play like that. You don't just be giving my number out. So I was kind of mad. I did confront my uncle about it, but, it wasn't no hard feelings. So anyways, me and him began to talk on the phone, whatever, that night. We was on the phone for hours, and so he continued to make me laugh. So he was like, can I take you out? I was like, sure, right? So he took me out a lot, okay? We went out a lot, I just started letting him take me out, and then he would come over unexpectedly, just dropping me things off, like flowers, gifts, everything like that. Not staying, just dropping things off to me, what I'm saying you was on my mind, whatever, love bombing me, right? Okay, so I'm all like, oh my god, he's so sweet, oh my god, I'm having such a great time because he was just a comedian. He just made me laugh, right? And I love laughing, right? So this was going on for this the whole entire deal that I was dealing with him only lasted for like maybe a month or two. It didn't even last that long because, right, this is it was a couple of days before the 4th of July, right? And one day he came over my house. I'm making breakfast for myself, so he comes over, and I said, well, you want something to eat? So I'm making breakfast for the both of us or whatever. And then he's like, I got to tell you something, right? I got to talk. I got to tell you something. I was like, okay, cool. But prior to him saying that he got to tell me something, when we was over there having our little chit chat or whatever, every time I would talk, he would say, Daddy, how you say things? And then he would bang his hands on the daggone table. And I'm like, whoa, now mind you, this ain't never happened before. This is the first time he's doing this. He would just bang his hands on the table and kept saying, That ain't how you say that. This is not how you say it. You say it like this. And I'm looking at him like, who the hell are you to correct how I speak? This is how I speak, and this is what I'm saying. So don't correct me and don't try to correct me what I'm saying. So he was like, ugh, I'm just dealing with a whole bunch of imbeciles. Everybody around me is an imbecile. I'm like, dude, who you think you talking to? So I'm already like, nah, because I don't take it when I'm talking. Don't cut me off, and especially don't be slamming your hands on my table. So I'm like, he about to get ready to go. So he was all like, I didn't even care about whatever he had to tell me because I wanted him out because I wasn't feeling this. So then he proceeds to tell me, this dude, now mind you, when we was talking and stuff, I was asking him all kind of questions about himself. You know what I'm saying? So I could see, was he single? Was he married? Was he this? Was he that? So he's all like, no, I'm single. I only got a 15-year-old son who's a little bit on the spectrum or whatever the case may be. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, and all this stuff like that or whatever. And I should have damn known that when he had a tattoo with a woman's name on his chest, and I said, who's this woman that you got tattooed on your chest? He's like, that's my mother. Red flag went off. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I'm not gonna argue with this dude about whose name that is. I don't really give a damn, right? But he lied his ass off or whatever and told me all these lies. This is what allowed me to, you know what I'm saying, allow him to take me out and stuff like that. So boom. So then when he's telling me, he's like, I gotta let you know that, I have a girl and she'll be home soon, and I'm gonna have to end it. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, are you serious? I said, why would you lie to me like that? And so he's like, yeah, she was in the hospital or whatever all this time, and now she'll be coming home or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and I don't want no problems, so I have to break it off with you. I was all like, why didn't you just say that at the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Why would you have to lie? You know what I'm saying? So he's all like, I know you're probably mad at me, so go ahead, punch me in my face, hit me, come on. So he kept trying to take my hand to make me hit him, and I'm like, no, I just need you to leave. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he was confused because I wasn't mad. I wasn't going off on him. I wasn't cursing him out, nothing of that. I was just like, well, then you can leave. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he was used to that because he really kept saying, no, come on, hit me. And I said, you need to stop. I said, because if you keep on doing it, I'm going to really hit you. And I was like, and I'm not playing with you. So I just want you to leave. I don't have to go through all that. So I just want you to leave. I don't want to be in your presence anymore. And he was really confused. Okay. I know he couldn't just fathom of, what happened, why she's not mad at me, whatever, So then he finally decides to leave. And then I'm just like, what? And then I sat down, right? And I'm like, whoa, because I only got half of the information because I didn't want to know no more. Once he told me that this girl was in a hospital, right? It dawned on me. This girl I wound up finding out a little bit more information from my uncle and them or whatever. But she was in a psych ward. She was in a psych ward, and, she was healing from whatever it is, whatever traumas or whatever caused her behind to be up in there. And I was like, whoa. So automatically I was like, yeah, he put her there. She was in that thing, and she was healing from him. And come to find out, he was kind of bribing her family, her mother and father, which was older. Her father and mother were older. You know what I'm saying? And it was like he was trying to bribe them, because I don't know the whole story, but I just feel like the bribe was to keep them from pressing charges against him because what he did with their daughter. So that's just what I got out of it. I didn't even care to press it any further. I just was like, yo. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad I dodged the bullet. You know what I'm saying? And so once I found out whatever, so 4th of July comes, right? I'm going over my uncle and them's house to enjoy the festivities of the 4th, right? And so he's telling my uncle to tell me, don't come over. I don't want him to come over because she's going to be there, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He don't want no problems. And I'm like, dude, I'm coming where I go. I'm going wherever I want to go because you ain't going to tell me whatever. And there ain't going to be no problems. If I didn't make a big fuss about you when you left, what makes you think that I'm going to make a big fuss about you for a thing? I'm trying to enjoy this festivity on my own. I'm not trying to cause no problems with nobody. You ain't going to ever catch me, and nor have I ever did, and you will not ever catch me fighting over no dude, ever. Making a big scene, talking about some... Listen, when you told me what you told me, and I said you got to leave my house, and I didn't even punch you or hit you like you was trying to make me do, I didn't give a fuck. As long as you was out of my head, that's all that mattered, right? So he's trying to press my uncle. I'm like, no, I'm over there. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying myself. He just kept on coming out that room, kept on peeking around the corner because he was so scared that I was going to either bust in his room or knock on the door or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and make a fight. And I'm like, he don't have to. He was so uncomfortable and so weird that then he wound up, I guess, leaving, taking her with him, and they leave and they left somewhere and went somewhere, I guess, until the 4th was over. And I'm like, yo, he didn't have to do all that because I didn't care or whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I daggone took that vision board. I took that picture of that dude and I ripped that thing up and I ripped it up and my heart was beating so fast and I was sick to my stomach because I was like, I done manifested the devil. I was like, you better be careful what you ask for. Be very careful when you do it because listen, you will get it. And I, ever since then, whenever I do a vision board, I make sure I do not put no actual pictures of no human people. Like, I'm not manifesting humans. Like, I will manifest the material things, or, you know, I put the words on there and I manifest a peaceful life, you know, an abundant life and all that good stuff. But I ain't manifest. I'm not putting no pictures of no people's faces because that sucker came to pass. That dude was a nightmare from hell. I dodged a daggone bullet. And I was just like, yo, when then the revelations that I got and the dreams that I got from what happened to the girl, I was like, whoa. So then fast forward, yo, like probably like 6, 7, 8 months go by. I'm in the grocery store, I'm shopping or whatever. I see this little boy running around the corner and he sees me. He's about like, this little boy's like 5 years old. And I'm like, whose kid is this in the aisle? You know what I'm saying? Because he came, it was like he was being chased. So he came and he ran and then he kind of like grabbed me by my leg or whatever, like to try to hide behind me from whoever he was trying to hide from. And I'm like, who's this little boy? And then I look up and it's him. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, oh my goodness. And he saw me. When he saw me, he was like, it was like he seen a ghost. And I'm looking like, this is your son? And I'm just like, whoa. And then when he goes to get his son and he grabs his son by his hand, he's like, come on, come on, come on. And then he was all like, and then he says, he whispers to me really quickly as he's passing me by. He was like, I'm sorry for what I did. Can you please forgive me? And then I look up and he walks by real quickly and I look up and I see the girl pushing a carriage and she's pregnant. She got a little baby bump. And she's pushing a cart or whatever and everything. And he went and I said, oh, I was like, oh, all I could do was be like, thank you, Lord, because I really dodged a bullet. He love bombed me so good and he got me tripped up and thinking that he was the one. And then mind you, he even made a joke about it because when he came over my house one day, he saw the vision board up and he goes, oh shoot, you got a vision board? And then he sees the picture and he goes, whoa, that's supposed to be me. And I looked and I can't act like I got pissed off when he said that. I was like, don't be looking at my board. I was like, get out of here. So, and I took the board down because, you know what I'm saying, I got pissed off. I got pissed off that he was all like, oh, that's me. And then I looked and I said, oh, shit, that is him. Yo! I'm telling you right now, I just wanted to share that, but I ain't ever going to do that again. But you know what? Listen, be careful what you're trying to manifest because you just might get it, okay? But I just thought I'd share. Thanks. And if this resonated with you, or just let me hear from you in the comments, okay? I would like to hear your thoughts.